Yo, I think I'm sensing a slight potential shift in the goalpost coming pretty soon. It appears to me that this comment, and this person has been commenting on and even replying other people's comments on the channel, it appears to me that they're trying to shift the competitive nature of PlayStation and Xbox and make it sound now that they're two different markets. No, 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 no. We're not going to do that. You see, the beating that one is giving the other is not something that I'm sitting here relishing. No, it's something that I actually am championing so that the other one may fight back, so that I, the consumer, the customer, may be the benefactor of the competitive, tussle between both of them. That's how I see it. Some people see it from a purely console war perspective. My platform's greater than yours. Some see it from a list war perspective, of which the list war narrative is gone after Xbox went ahead and bought 4 publishers and bodies PlayStation in content delivery by many metrics. We now want to then go ahead and do this one now. So shout out to this audience member, but I gotta say, your position here sounds to me slightly suspicious that you want to pull the rug from under the previous argument and then go ahead and set it somewhere else. So this user, FlavorJ13, said Sony does not have the resources to compete with Steam, Epic, or Microsoft on that level. This is a factual statement, actually, based on Sony's own industry shifts and threats that was leaked in their hack in 2023. They talked about the elusive game subscription model. They talked about how Microsoft had the potential to deliver games on a subscription, console, and PC model. They didn't even talk about the cloud model at the time, which is now gearing up to look more like how there's, Xbox Cloud, their partnerships with GeForce now, and even moving further into expanding to Steam device, to handheld devices by other manufacturers, which has now been said. So this industry threat did not even consider that because those aspects were even not unknown at the time. So they said they put all their eggs on console, whereas Microsoft has their eggs in everything tech related. Not to mention, Microsoft is around 10 times the size as Sony. These are realities. Now, in this statement, somebody replied and said, true, but you're ignoring that Xbox isn't Microsoft and Sony isn't PlayStation. PlayStation is Sony's most profitable company and is in a happy place. They've sold 70 million PS5s. We don't have the data for 70 million yet. We stopped at 65, but let's just say they sold 70 million. And now Xbox is placing games on PlayStation. 2 different markets being looked at by PlayStation and Nintendo compared to Steam and Xbox. What does Xbox placing games on PlayStation have to do with the fact that Sony does not have the resources to compete on a level that it wishes it could compete on with Xbox? It has nothing to do with it. Because, again, remember I said to you that it seems like this comment is designed to push away the competitive relationship between both of them. Because just a second ago, as well, 47 minutes ago, the same person commented and said the same thing. They said, you're right, but that doesn't mean PlayStation and Nintendo have issues. No one said they did. I never said they did. It's 2 separate approaches. Xbox isn't Microsoft and Sony isn't PlayStation. PlayStation is Sony's most profitable company. Blah, blah, blah. Just the exact same spew. But when we look at what PlayStation is talking about here, they seem to acknowledge that they are behind their competition and their pillars are already dated. What are PlayStation's pillars? Exclusivity of first-party games to their platform solely. They realized that that particular approach was not really working. Why did they realize that the approach was not working? Many PlayStation gamers are constantly playing live service games more than any other games. In fact, they're having to now eat from a 30% pool rather than actually eat 100% pool from their own games. So that pillar by itself seemingly is not sustainable for the growth that they want, because the live service market is already kind of saturated. They'll need, the need for their own games to actually be able to sell like that, to be able to give them the growth that they're looking for. So when we look at something like Matt Piscatella's data sets that he puts out from time to time, you realize that PlayStation's games, the single player games, when they crack the top 15 spot, they eventually go back down because games like Genshin Impact and Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online and Fortnite and NBA 2K25 are constantly taking away players' attention. This is also why PlayStation is investing in its own live service approach and has moved its percentage from 88%, which it invested in its traditional games, and has moved 60% of development to live service games. Live service games used to have 12% in their development budget. Now it's 60. It's going to 60%. It's already now at 55%. While the single player games have dropped down to 45%. So there has to be a data set for you to think about it. So if you say, oh, Xbox is putting games on PlayStation, yes, it's because these games, they're trying to make sales from them. They're trying to get money from them. And PlayStation is putting its games on Steam because it's also trying to make sales and is moving more to live service development because it's also trying to gain more passive sources of income like Xbox already has and has already surpassed them in because they carried, Activision, put it in a bag and walked away with it. This was pretty much one of PlayStation's most profitable titles every year that they had leaned and depended on. In fact, they had the better version every year. And once they lost that, you can already tell that because of parity, more than likely people are going to shift to Xbox because of the in-game differential. That's something that they pointed out here. Look at it. Shift from PlayStation to Xbox with timing and in-game differential as the weapons. I mean, you already see that PlayStation was already worried about this. So again, saying this is trying to pretty much dampen or reduce the force that PlayStation has basically felt from this acquisition and the general changes in the gaming industry. But PlayStation's actions always, and I would say they betray them. They prove, or they betray you because it doesn't betray them. They're doing those things so that they can actually go ahead and make money. In fact, if you wanted to actually talk about, this particular instance, you can go back to a PlayStation blog interview that was actually done with Herman Holst. And this was during the time when Horizon Zero Dawn was coming to PC. Right? So somebody asked him, the PlayStation blog person said, PlayStation is no stranger to publishing titles on the PC. But Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the largest games to make that leap. Is there anything you would say to PlayStation fans? What does it mean for the future? Herman Holst said, sure. I think it's important to stay open, that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation. See, the time will come, you'll see more PlayStation games on Xbox. This is not a crazy claim. You already have one game that is annually produced by a PlayStation studio that makes its way to Xbox every year and also to Game Pass. It's called MLB The Show. Many PlayStation fans have sworn that it's MLB that forced PlayStation to do it, and it makes PlayStation look weak if we go with that direction because I don't think that's the case. I think whatever benefits are coming from Xbox and Game Pass, PlayStation is also benefiting from it. There's San Diego studio. That's all they make. They don't make any other game. All they make is a game that's played on Xbox every year. Just like, Call of Duty studios are making their Call of Duty games that are played on PlayStation every single year. You got to look at the gaming industry from a good perspective. And he said, and show people maybe that what they may be missing out on. Okay? And to maybe put a few minds at ease, releasing one first-party AAA title on PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game will now come to PC. Really, Herman? In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have plans for day and date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware. Well, anybody who's been paying attention knows that that is not true. Anybody who's been paying attention knows that just in 2024, PlayStation released 4 games day and date on PC. 4. Let me show you. Horizon Lego Adventures, Until Dawn Remake, Helldivers 2, and the long-deleted Concord. These games all showed up to PC day one. Not only that, other PlayStation games, which, contrary to what he said, which does not necessarily mean that every game now will come to PC, have now basically made their way to PC. Ratchet & Clank, The Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2 is coming, Returnal, Miles Morales, Sackboy, Uncharted, and The Lost Legacy. If they go ahead and remaster Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, they're going to dump it on PC. Days Gone, God of War, Ragnarok, the whole works. The whole works. For anybody to tell me that this is a different industry and blah, 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 PlayStation is literally copying Xbox. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about the one that's coming out day one on PC. Lost Soul aside. Stellar Blade's also coming too. To PC. The whole thing's coming to PC, bro. Look at it. Lost Soul aside. Already has a PC 20. It has a 2025 thing. It's got the banner and all that. Now, some people have said, in all fairness, this game was always supposed to come to PC. How am I supposed to know? Stellar Blade was supposed to come to Xbox, and and it's not an Xbox. Sorry, yeah, and PC, and it's not on either. It's made on Unreal Engine 4. Your PC port is basically your first port in that engine. I know because I use Unreal Engine. So, again, I don't know how we can say one for Stellar Blade and then Lost Soul aside, it's a whole different mindset. I guess they don't want the Stellar Blade issue to happen again. PlayStation is already releasing PC day and date games. It launched 4 last year. It's already announced one for this year. So please, tell me how Xbox putting games on PlayStation is a different market than PlayStation putting games on Steam when they're both going for the same goal and have left their position of console exclusives like Nintendo, basically traditionally holds. The industry has changed. Tell me how a PlayStation studio that makes a dedicated game that's played on Xbox and on Game Pass MLB The Show is different from Xbox putting games or some games on PlayStation. Because, again, you guys always want to come with that talking point and you blank your mind out of MLB The Show because you want to point it to MLB. Or MLB made them do it. It wasn't because they wanted to do it. How do you know? Were you sitting there in the negotiations? Or tell me how Lego Horizon Adventures being on a Nintendo Switch day one. Didn't even make its way to PlayStation 4. But the Switch. And somehow that's different from Xbox putting its games on PlayStation. Stop the hypocrisy. These two are jarring competitors, and their competition, having ramped up the most, absolutely better for everyone. Absolutely better for everyone. This is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.